In 1972, deep within the classified corridors of US defense research, whispers began about a secret program, one that defied the laws of physics itself. It was called Project Pegasus, a rumored black-budget initiative allegedly run by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Its goal: not nuclear weapons, not surveillance, but time travel. For decades, the United States government had experimented with high-energy teleportation and quantum tunneling, hoping to master instantaneous transport of people and objects. But the rumors surrounding Pegasus went much further, according to a handful of former insiders. The project was already operational by the early 1970s, and it wasn't just about moving through space, it was about moving through time. A man named Andrew D. Bosiago, a lawyer and self-proclaimed former participant, came forward years later with astonishing claims. He said that as a child, he was recruited into a covert program that tested chronovisors, devices that could project holographic images from the past and the future using quantum light technology. He described standing inside glowing energy chambers where he could see historical events unfold in real time, moments like Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, and even glimpses of the future United States. Bosiago insisted these were not hallucinations. He claimed the technology worked, based on Nikola Tesla's theoretical papers recovered by the US government after his death in 1943. In his words, "We didn't watch the past, we went there." Skeptics dismissed his testimony as delusion, but several researchers noticed something strange: photographs from historical events, especially the Gettysburg photo archives, show a boy resembling Bosiago standing near President Lincoln's podium, wearing clothing that didn't exist in the 1860s. Coincidence? Photoshop? Maybe. But experts analyzing the image claimed the boy's shadows and proportions were perfectly consistent with 19th century lighting, and that wasn't the only piece of evidence. Bosiago described traveling through teleportation corridors located in secret government facilities, one of them allegedly beneath a military base in East Hanover, New Jersey. He said participants used something called a jump room, where plasma energy arcs opened a temporary wormhole, allowing travelers to emerge hundreds of miles away or even decades apart. In the early 1980s, other witnesses began to surface, including US Army personnel who spoke anonymously about experimental teleportation devices. One technician claimed to have seen small animals disappear and reappear alive, but disoriented, their biological rhythms slightly out of sync. Their clocks, and even their hearts, would beat just off-tempo. Could Pegasus have been an early test of quantum displacement, a scientific frontier that modern physics is only beginning to explore? If so, what happened to the program? By 1983, all records of Project Pegasus vanished from DARPA archives, funding trails disappeared, personnel reassigned, and those who spoke publicly discredited or silenced. But the story doesn't end there. Declassified CIA documents from the Cold War confirm multiple psychotronic and remote viewing projects. Programs like Project Stargate and MKUltra, once dismissed as conspiracy theories, later turned out to be real, if the US was willing to explore psychic espionage and mind control. Could time manipulation really be off the table? In 2001, researchers studying magnetic anomalies at Los Alamos discovered signatures consistent with high-energy field distortions, the same patterns Bosiago described decades earlier. Were they echoes of something that once existed, or remnants of a technology still active somewhere in the shadows? Bosiago also claimed that a young Barack Obama participated in the Pegasus program under the name Barry Soetoro, trained as a chrononaut for covert missions to Mars and future timelines. That claim, of course, was widely dismissed, yet the strange persistence of Pegasus in popular culture and classified circles has kept the story alive. Some physicists suggest that if such a project existed, it would rely on quantum entanglement, connecting particles across time and space, a concept Einstein once called spooky action at a distance. If human consciousness could ride that link, time travel might not require a machine, it might require the mind itself. Today, the legacy of Project Pegasus hovers in the grey space between myth and reality. No concrete proof has surfaced, no blueprints, no verified devices, but the consistency of testimonies, the scientific plausibility of quantum tunneling, and the confirmed history of US classified experiments all leave one haunting question unanswered. If time travel was possible half a century ago, would we even be allowed to know? Because if Pegasus worked, if someone truly stepped outside the timeline, the evidence could never remain stable. It would rewrite itself, erase traces, and time would cover its own tracks. So maybe the reason no one can find Project Pegasus is because it never happened, or because it hasn't happened yet.